I knew something was wrong the moment I stepped into the dimly lit restaurant, the kind with soft jazz playing in the background and waitstaff gliding between tables like shadows. The waiter, a young man with a neatly trimmed beard and a name tag reading Marco, approached me with a polite smile. "Table for five, sir. Still expecting the others?" His voice carried a hint of sympathy, as if he could already sense the disappointment brewing. I forced a smile back, nodding. "Yes, please," but deep down I knew I shouldn't have. Family was supposed to show up, especially for milestones like this. That's what I'd been taught. Growing up, family first, no matter what. Yet here I was, sliding into a corner booth by the window, the city lights twinkling outside like distant promises unkept. I fidgeted with the napkin, folding and unfolding it absent-mindedly, my eyes darting to my phone every few seconds. It felt ridiculous, like I was some anxious kid on a blind date gone wrong. To ease the tension, I even let out a small, self-deprecating chuckle. "They're just running late," I whispered to myself, though the words rang hollow. I ordered a whiskey, neat, something I didn't even particularly want, just to have something to occupy my hands. The burn as it went down my throat was a welcome distraction from the growing pit in my stomach. "My name is Liam Thompson. I'm 35 years old, with a receding hairline that's just starting to show, and a wardrobe full of sensible button-downs and khakis. For the past 9 years, I'd been grinding away at Apex Solutions, a mid-sized tech firm specializing in project management software. It wasn't glamorous work, but it paid the bills. And then some. After countless late nights staring at spreadsheets until my eyes blurred, turning down invitations to happy hours and weekend getaways, I'd finally climbed the ladder. Senior Operations Manager. The title came with a corner office, a 20% raise, and that elusive sense of validation. It wasn't just about the money. It was proof that my sacrifices mattered, that I mattered. I wanted to celebrate this with the people who had supposedly been in my corner all along. My mom, Clara, my sister Ava, my cousin Ethan, and my Aunt Nora. They were the core group, the ones who'd gather at holidays and birthdays, exchanging stories and laughs. Last Thanksgiving, they'd all teared up when I surprised Clara with a used but reliable SUV after her old clunker finally gave out. "You're the rock of this family, Liam," Aunt Nora had said, hugging me tightly. Ethan had clapped me on the back, calling me the glue that holds us together. And Clara, she'd whispered how proud she was, her eyes shining with what I thought was genuine gratitude. They were the ones I'd invited tonight, eager to share my triumph. But as the minutes ticked into hours, first one, then two, the booth remained painfully empty. No frantic calls apologizing for traffic, no texts explaining a last-minute delay. The only notifications on my phone were from work emails and my banking app, silently tallying the cost of the appetizers I'd ordered to stall for time. The waiter checked in periodically, his sympathy growing more evident with each visit. Finally, too stubborn to admit defeat and too embarrassed to slink out alone, I signaled for the entrees. "Bring them all," I said, my voice steadier than I felt. As I cut into the al dente pasta, twirling it around my fork in a mechanical motion, my phone finally buzzed with something personal. It was a group photo posted to our family chat. The caption, "Family night out for the real win." There they were, Clara, Ava, Ethan, and Aunt Nora, beaming at a trendy lakeside bistro, the kind with fairy lights strung overhead and the faint sparkle of water in the background. They were dressed up, wine glasses raised in a toast. Ava stood front and center, her curly hair catching the light, holding a sleek new professional camera like a trophy. Her grin was wide, triumphant. She earned this. "So proud, sis," the caption continued. My heart sank as I zoomed in, searching for any sign of regret or acknowledgement. There was none. No tag for me, no wish you were here. Just their joy, captured without me. Scrolling up, I found Clara's earlier message, time-stamped exactly an hour before the photo. "You're not the focus right now, Liam. We'll catch up soon. Enjoy your night." The words were typed casually, as if she were declining a coffee invite, not ditching her son's long-awaited celebration. It felt rehearsed, like she'd weighed each syllable before hitting send. The irony burned hotter than the whiskey. I'd been the one funding so much of their lives. Yet here I was, sidelined for Ava's latest impulse buy. Ava, the eternal dreamer of the family, always chasing the next big thing. A photography course, a freelance gig, now this expensive camera. Meanwhile, my steady climb was apparently unworthy of the spotlight. I paid the bill, $150, including the untouched plates for 4 ghosts, and left a generous 25% tip. The staff had been kind, pretending not to notice my isolation. Driving home through the rain-slicked streets, the city blurred into streaks of neon. Silence enveloped me, broken only by the rhythmic swish of wipers. Once inside my modest apartment, a one-bedroom in a quiet suburb, I didn't bother with the lights. I collapsed onto the edge of my bed, phone in hand, scrolling through old photos like a masochist. There was the time I'd covered Ethan's rent after he lost his job. The grocery deliveries I'd arranged for Clara during her bout with illness. The loans to Ava that never circled back. And the mortgage. Oh, the mortgage on the family home. The one Dad had left behind when he passed 5 years ago. I'd been auto-deducting $2,100 every month from my salary for 4 years, ever since the first foreclosure scare. "Just until things stabilize," Clara had said. But stability never came. It was always one more crisis, one more excuse. That night, something snapped. I walked into my home office, a small nook with a desk cluttered by work files, and logged into the shared bank account. The payment history stared back at me, row after row of my contributions, totaling over $100,000 when you factored in extras. My fingers hovered over the keyboard, then decisively clicked Cancel Auto Payment. It was done in seconds, but the weight lifted felt monumental. Grabbing a sticky note, I scrawled 5 words in Sharpie. Let her cover it now. The drive to the old family house was a blur. I hadn't been there since New Year's, when I'd fixed a leaky faucet unasked, taping the note to the front door under the porch light. I didn't linger to see if lights were on inside. I just drove away, phone switched to silent, and collapsed into bed without changing or brushing my teeth. The last sound I registered was my own heartbeat, thundering like a drum in the quiet. Morning brought chaos, 73 missed calls lighting up my screen. Clara dominated the list, interspersed with Ava's frantic dials, a couple from Aunt Nora, and texts from Ethan that escalated from confusion to accusation. "Call me. Are you for real? We need to talk." I scrolled through them slowly, the timestamps painting a picture of mounting panic. But I didn't respond. Instead, I brewed coffee and sat by the window, watching the world wake up. The voicemail icon blinked insistently. Curiosity overrode my resolve. I pressed play. Clara's voice filled the room, but it wasn't the nurturing tone of bedtime stories or high school graduations. This was shrill, edgy with desperation. "Liam, what on earth did you do?" "The bank called this morning. The payment bounced. I don't understand. Why would you pull this without telling us? You know we're counting on you. Ava's finally turning things around and you're being spiteful." Her voice cracked into a whisper, laced with tears. "This isn't how family acts, Liam. Please call me back." I replayed that last line, the hypocrisy sinking in like acid. Family? The same family that had ghosted my promotion dinner for Ava's camera celebration? Ava's message came next, her tone a mix of anger and feigned nonchalance. Hey bro, this is seriously messed up. Mom's flipping out. We were gonna handle it, okay? Just needed a bit more time. You didn't have to yank the plug like that. Are you trying to make us homeless? A bit more time. After 4 years of my silent support, Ethan's was the bluntest. Okay, wow. So you're punishing the whole family over one dinner. Grow up, Liam. You always play the martyr, like you're the only one hustling. Newsflash. Ava's been grinding too. She got a big break with her photography, and we wanted to celebrate. Sorry your job thing got overshadowed, but blowing up everything, that's low. I let out a tight, bitter laugh. My job thing. The promotion I'd sacrificed friendships and hobbies for. Sitting there in my quiet apartment, surrounded by minimalist decor I'd chosen for efficiency. Not warmth. No family portraits on the walls. No mementos from shared vacations. It hit me. This wasn't loneliness. It was awakening. I'd been the family's safety net for so long, invisible until the net tore. Ava was the golden child, the one figuring things out. Flunking out of art school twice. She's creative. Totaling her car in a joyride? Youthful mistake. Starting and abandoning 3 side hustles, each funded by loans from me. She's entrepreneurial. Me? I was reliable, Liam. The one who paid bills on time, who showed up for every crisis. They didn't throw parties for my college graduation, early with honors, or when I negotiated the mortgage refinance to avoid losing the house after Dad's death. But in public, oh, they loved the narrative. Liam's such a good son, always there for us. That afternoon, I took a call from Aunt Nora. She was the family's elder stateswoman, level-headed and rarely involved in drama, unless it escalated to code red. Liam, she said, her voice low and tense. You need to talk to your mother. She's a wreck. I kept my tone even. Why? So she can guilt me back into paying? A heavy sigh on her end. She says she didn't know how excluded you felt. I chuckled mirthlessly. She didn't know. What about her text saying I wasn't the priority while they partied for Ava's camera? Silence stretched. I broke it. They've got 30 days until the bank's final notice. Nora muttered, she's terrified they'll lose the house. I shrugged, though she couldn't see. Maybe Ava can sell her new toy. To my surprise, Nora let out a sharp laugh. You're serious about this, aren't you? For once, no pushback. Maybe she'd seen the imbalance all along. A silent observer in the family dynamic. Clara's long text arrived that evening. A wall of words starting soft and turning defensive. She called it a misunderstanding. Claimed they hadn't meant to compete with my news. And I'm proud of you, Liam, was tucked into paragraph 4, almost as an afterthought. But the closer, don't let this one mistake ruin everything we've built as a family. One mistake? As if years of one-sided support were a single oversight. I didn't reply. Instead, I logged back into the bank and closed the shared account entirely, severing the last financial tie. The next day, Ethan showed up at my door, uninvited, pounding like he was serving an eviction notice. When I opened it, he barged in, arms crossed, face flushed. We need to talk about this tantrum you're throwing. You're hurting Mom over what? A skipped dinner. I stood by the door, unmoved. Ava bought a camera. She's investing in her future. That's not a crime. Slowly I replied, no, but dismissing my achievements while I foot the bills, that's the issue. He glared. You always act like the victim. No, I said quietly. I'm done being the sucker. He scoffed. They're your family. They were. I corrected. Now they're just people I used to pay for. That silenced him. He paced for a minute, then left without another word, the door clicking shut behind him. The stillness after his departure wasn't empty. It was liberating. I made coffee, sat on my balcony, and watched the neighborhood stir. Dogs, walking owners, kids on bikes. My world had shifted, and for the first time it felt like mine. A text from my old college buddy Max pinged in. "Dude, you okay? Your mom called my mom, said you're having a breakdown." I typed back, "Nah, just finally woke up." His response, "A thumbs up and proud of you, man," warmed me more than any family praise ever had. Clara tried FaceTime that night. I let it ring out. Her follow-up text was a novella, starting with endearments, offering to cook my favorite chili, just us, then sharpening to accusations. "Canceling the mortgage was reckless, Liam. You put us all in jeopardy. You had no right to drop this burden unilaterally." Burden? The word ignited something fierce. I'd voluntarily poured $72,000 into that house over 4 years, not to mention other expenses. No thanks. No reciprocity. Just expectation. It reminded me of last Christmas. Ava gifting Clara a fancy scarf using my credit card without asking. "It's easier this way," she'd laughed. Clara had dismissed my anger. "It's family, Liam. You always help." Scrolling through emails later, a bank notice arrived. Payment failure. Final warning. 15 days before default. I could picture the panic across town. Instead of responding, I dusted off an old spreadsheet. Every wire transfer, utility payment, temporary loan. It spanned 6 years, totaling $89,000. Color-coded by recipient, it was a ledger of my generosity turned exploitation. I opened a new document, what I owe myself. It became a catharsis, listing not just finances, but emotional tolls. Conversations dominated by Ava's dramas, birthdays overlooked, holidays I funded but barely participated in. The weight I'd carried crystallized on the page. A video from Ava arrived that night. She looked disheveled on the family couch, eyes red. "Man, what are you doing? Punishing everyone over a dinner? Grow up." "Yeah, we screwed up, but Mom's crying nonstop. Ethan's pissed. Bank's calling. Just restart the payments. We'll talk later." Talk? They wanted reset, not resolution. 3 days passed in routine bliss. Work, jogging, home-cooked meals. No more reminders for Ava's insurance or Clara's bills. The family chat exploded, renamed from emergency to mortgage crisis to family unity with broken hearts. I muted it, peeking once to see Aunt Nora's message. I warned them this would happen. "You were never weak, just too generous." I saved it. A rare validation. The turning point hit on day 7. Clara and Ava arrived, the camera propped on a tripod in the parking lot like an absurd olive branch. Clara knocked, voice pleading through the door. "Liam, sweetheart, let us explain." I watched via peephole as Ava paced, clutching a bank notice. "We get it, you're upset. Don't throw away family over one mistake." Again, one mistake. They weren't here for me. They were here for the fix. I didn't open the door. They left eventually. Ava's truck rumbling away with her prized camera in tow. Payday felt different. No massive deduction. My balance swelled, and for once I smiled at it. But noon brought a bank call. 2 payments behind. Default initiated. I clarified I wasn't liable. I'd removed my name long ago. The agent paused. "Your mother said you'd handle it. You've always handled it." Of course, assumption was their currency. Clara returned alone that evening, tote bag in hand. I let her in. She surveyed the space like a stranger, noting the absence of family mementos. "We're losing the house," she said, voice trembling. I nodded. You can stop this. No, I said firmly. She blinked. That text, you said I wasn't a priority, then celebrated Ava. That's not family. She sat deflated. I didn't realize how much you were carrying. You didn't want to, I countered. Ava needs more help. And I'm your son. Silence. No rebuttal. Just truth hanging heavy. As she left, she paused. Is this the end? Of me pretending this was love? I replied. She nodded and went. 10 days later, Ava ambushed me at work, lounging in the lobby with sunglasses on. We lost the house, 30 days to vacate. Ethan's helping. But it's not enough. I led her outside. Why? She demanded. You were fine. Financially, maybe, but not anymore. She muttered plans. Clara with Ethan, her with Nora. Good, I said. You think you're better? No, just better without this. She left, defeated. I deleted the chat, moved apartments, splurged on an ergonomic chair, booked a mountain retreat. Savings grew. Time expanded into hobbies, reading thrillers, hiking trails, sleeping soundly. Guilt vanished, because the kindest act for myself was walking away from those who leaned too hard.